Morning, everyone. Morning, everyone. That was more enthusiastic. Thank you. We're going to get started. We have a live stream audience also, so we don't want to keep them waiting on their computers for too long. I'm Scott Mazarski. I head up the cross-platform businesses here at Bloomberg, which run across the Bloomberg industry verticals. That's Bloomberg B&A, Bloomberg Government, and Bloomberg New Energy Finance. I'm really pleased to welcome all of you in person and online to the first of our East Coast, West Coast event series focused on shared services and operational efficiencies in the higher education space. We're really excited about this program. It aligns with what we do here at Bloomberg, which is providing valuable content to our audiences, whether it be through the Bloomberg Terminal, whether it be through our platforms like Bloomberg Law or Bloomberg Government, or whether it be by convening audiences in person and online for events like this to listen to thought leaders talking about issues that businesses and other organizations are focused on in order to be successful moving forward. I want to thank our underwriter for today's event, Chazey Partners. They've been great to work with, and we've worked together to put together a great program for you all today. We have a great group of speakers. We're going to start off today with an interview where Phil Searle, who's the CEO and founder of Chazey Partners, will be interviewing Omar Reed. Omar is in charge. He's the Director of Human Resources for the City of Houston. Under his watch, the City of Houston has won numerous awards, and it should be a fascinating discussion. With that, I'll hand over to Phil.
Thank you, Scott. Good morning, everybody. My name is Phil Searle. As Scott said, I am the CEO of Chazey Partners. Thank you very much for all coming this morning. We do have a sort of an interactive discussion session, and hopefully you'll all get something out of the sessions today. In a moment, I will introduce Omar, but just a brief background on myself. I'm a former corporate controller at a company called 3Com Corporation, for those of you that remember 3Com. Invented Ethernet in the 1970s. So I was the controller when we spun off Palm back in 2000. Do you remember that? Do you remember those handhelds, but way before the iPhones? Where are they now? Anyway, so I was a controller for them, and then I was a CFO of one of the Cendant business units. Cendant was a conglomerate that owned Avis, Budget, Century 21, and I was in the travel side of the business, and I was CFO of the international side of that business. So I've been a business unit CFO, an operational corporate CFO, and for years I've been talking about operational change, business transformation, shared services, that sort of thing. I first spoke at a conference back in 1998, which when I say it doesn't sound like that's that long ago, but when you add it up, it's a long time ago. So, and it's a really big topic for mine. A favorite topic of mine is transformation, shared services. So I've implemented it in practice at 3Com and previous companies and at Cendant, and have been consulting in this area for the last 10 years. So I founded Chazey Partners 10 years ago. I get quite passionate about this subject because there's a huge opportunity for many organizations. And shared services or operational transformation or business transformation or whatever you want to call it has been around in the private sector for decades, right? Outsourcing's been around for a long time too. In the public sector, which would include, broadly speaking, federal government, state government, higher education, healthcare, and sort of public and charities and that sort of thing, it's much newer, this sort of transformational change, especially around shared services. So higher education has got a lot of challenges, right? Higher education has some huge challenges around funding specifically. You know, the money pot is not as full as it used to be. Of course, the costs of tuition are going up. And there's a fantastic chart that I know, Dave, you're going to show later on the costs of education and tuition compared to the cost of a vehicle and cost. I mean, it's a great chart. So that's a huge challenge. Of course, there's technology and the costs associated with implementing and rolling out technology and control and compliance. There are some significant issues in higher education that anybody who's in higher education knows about. And we're going to be discussing some of those today, some of the challenges, some of the opportunities around operational efficiencies and shared services. So with that, I will have a lot of other opportunities to comment. The first up today is Omar Reed from the City of Houston. And Omar and I met, I think it was a year ago, at a public sector shared services conference on the West Coast, San Diego. And listen to Omar, he has a great story because while it's not higher ed, it's public sector in that definition I just gave you. And what they've done at the City of Houston is quite honestly phenomenal over the last 5 years. So with that, we will get started because I know we're a bit, we've got about 20 minutes, so we need to get going.